Okay, tonight another story from Rowley, Jefferson's awesome, friendly, spooky stories. And the story is The Demon. Okay, so maybe a few of the stories in this book are just make-believe, but I promise this next one is 100% true. And I know that because it happened to me. Well, technically it happened to me and my best friend Greg Heffley. But there are probably some parts he can't remember, so you'll have to trust me that I'm telling you the truth. This happened over the summer when Greg came to my house for a sleepover, and it was a pretty big deal because it was our first one since we got in trouble for sneaking out last time. Oh no. My dad made us both promise we would be in bed by 10 p.m. And that was fine with me since I started getting sleepy at 9:30 anyway. At 7, my mum came down to the basement with a big tub of arts and craft supplies so we'd have something to do, and I was excited because I could see there were 2 new bottles of glitter glue in the tub. But when my mum left, Greg said arts and crafts were for babies and we needed to do something that was actually fun, which kind of stunk because I didn't even get to use the glitter glue. Then Greg pulled something out of his bag. It looked like a scary movie, and Greg said he took it from his brother Roderick's room. The Possession. I said it looked a little too scary for me, and maybe we should just watch the one that my mum and dad just got me. Malik Makes Good Choices. That sounds like a good movie, doesn't it? Malik Makes Good Choices. What do you reckon? But Greg said this was a sleepover, not school, and he put his movie in the player. Well, I really wished we had stuck with the arts and crafts because Greg's movie was totally terrifying. It was about those teenagers who find a book with ancient writing and scary pictures inside. And when one of the teenagers reads the writing out loud, the book releases a demon. Mwahaha! Then the demon gets inside one of the teenagers and gives him evil powers. That sounds terrible. And don't even ask me how the movie ended anyway, because I made Greg shut it off halfway through. I thought Greg was going to say I was a chicken for bailing out, but he said the movie was terrible and the special effects looked totally fake. Plus, he said the story didn't make any sense because the teenager who got possessed wouldn't have known how to read the words in the ancient book. Well, the special effects looked pretty real to me, but I guess Greg had a point about the ancient language thing. I asked him if a person could get possessed by a demon in real life, and Greg said that was fake too. Then he said he'd prove it to me, and he started saying the words those teenagers had read. At first, nothing happened, and I thought Greg was probably right about the movie being fake. But then Greg's body started to twitch, and when he opened his eyes, he seemed totally different. Snarl! Oh. So now my best friend was possessed by a demon, and I knew if my parents found out, they'd never let us have another sleepover again. Mwahaha! I was hoping the demon would snap out of it and go back to being Greg, but he didn't, and he made a mess of the shelves that me and my mum had to spend the whole afternoon organising. Mwahaha! Then the demon noticed the arts and crafts bin, and before I could stop him, he went totally crazy with the glitter glue. Ha ha ha! Squirt, squirt! After the demon was done wrecking the basement, he headed upstairs. He must have had supernatural strength or something because I couldn't slow him down. And if you thought the demon made a mess of the basement, then you should have seen what he did to the kitchen. Chomp, gobble, crunch. I was nervous my parents were going to wake up because the demon was making a huge racket and their bedroom was right above the kitchen. So I needed to figure out how to fix this situation quick. Now, I really wished we'd watched that movie all the way to the end to see how those teenagers got rid of the demon. But I couldn't go back downstairs to finish the movie because I didn't want to leave the demon by himself. Luckily, Mum's laptop was on the kitchen counter, so I did a quick search. But I couldn't find any straight answers, and it seemed like you might need a professional anyway. Search, how to get rid of a demon. Search results, 2,432,217 matches. Laying on of hands, ritual performed by priest, using holy water, herbal use in dispelling bad energy. Find an exorcist in your area. One of the websites said you could get rid of a demon with holy water, but it was almost 10 at night, and I was pretty sure the church was closed at that hour. What is he going to do? After the demon finished emptying out the kitchen cabinets, he started to come after me, and it's hard to stay quiet when you're being chased around the kitchen by an evil spirit who's chucking eggs at you. Luckily, the demon slipped on some baking soda on the floor, and that gave me a chance to escape, so I ran into the bathroom and locked the door. I didn't want the demon to know I was in there, so I turned off the lights and stayed as quiet as I could. But demons must have supernatural smelling or something, because it didn't take him long to figure out where I was. Whimper, sniff, sniff. I was afraid he was going to use his fire breath to burn down the door, but it got quiet for a while, and that made me extra nervous. Then I heard a weird rattling noise coming from the doorknob. Oh no. What is going on? Somehow, the demon had figured out how to pick the lock with a paperclip. Rattle, rattle. The next thing I knew, the demon was turning the doorknob. The only thing I had to defend myself with was a toilet brush. So I dipped it in the toilet bowl and sprayed the demon with water. Shriek! Shake, shake, shake. It turns out you don't need to use actual holy water to get rid of a demon, because a few seconds later Greg was back to his regular self. Rub, rub. The bad news is that all the noise woke up my parents and they sent Greg home. But that was okay with me, because the truth is I start to get sleepy at 9:30 anyway. Well, I warned you. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't have written those scary stories, because now I'm a little spooked. And it probably wasn't such a smart idea to write down that demon spell in here, because that could cause all sorts of problems. But I'm going to show this book to Greg anyway, because I have a feeling he'll really like it. Boo! The end.